All right, so we're here at AIM Expo 2017 in the Twisted Throttle booth. I'm here with Nate from Denali Electronics. How's it going?
It's going great. Show's just started this morning, so looking forward to seeing the crowds come through.
Yeah, so a few years ago we talked about Denali lights and horns and all the fancy awesomeness you guys got going on, but you've got a 2.0 release.
Yeah, so we're in August of this year, we launched the 2.0, which was basically a complete redesign of our lights from the ground up. Really, the only thing that's the same is the housing itself, the heat sink.
Okay, I was going to say they look the same.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So we've updated the LED itself to a higher power, high intensity LED.
Nice.
So that's putting out about 20% more light. We added a dual intensity functionality. So in the past, we had a couple lights that had that dual intensity functionality.
Right, like a high and a low.
Exactly. So we've redesigned the whole wiring harness to put that small dual intensity controller at the end of the harness. So all of the lights can be purchased as a single intensity light. And then for $50, you can upgrade any light to that dual intensity feature. And that integrates right into the vehicle's high beam switch. So when you flick between high and low on your bike, your lights go from 50 to 100%.
That sounds like a really, I don't imagine a lot of everybody else does that. Like that sounds like a kind of unique feature.
It is very unique to our line. Other folks use some kind of third-party dimmers and things like that, but really having that ability to go between high and low, it just makes sense. With the lights are super bright, you don't want to be blinding people, but you don't want to not be able to run them during the day or when you have your bike just on your regular low beam.
Yeah, that sounds like really cool. Is there any, so like what would you recommend? You know, I've got a Triumph Bonneville, I've got SW Motec crash bars. I don't have a ton of room. I don't really want to have a ton of wires hanging out, making me look totally ridiculous. What should I go for?
So on a Bonneville, I would say two things to look at. One would be an LED headlight module, and that actually is going to replace your original sealed beam.
Sure.
Your H4 bulb, that whole unit comes right out, ours drops in, it's DOT approved, and
nice.
It's going to be about 3 times more light output than your halogen bulb. Plus it gives it more of a kind of a modern look without going fully away from kind of the retro styling.
Yeah, you don't have like a whole light show
exactly.
going on.
And then another good option is our DR1 light. You can mount that up off the forks for that kind of more traditional cruiser driving light that's going to be to the left and right side of the headlight.
Sure.
And then also any of the smaller lights mounted down off those crash bars. It's going to get the light kind of low down to the outside of your headlight, give yourself a little bit more visibility, but also not be so, over the top.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking a little bit before we started recording about these driving lights that I inherited when we got Jessica a bike, and I was thinking about you guys when I saw them. And I was like, I wonder how these compare to the Denali lights. And I hadn't seen them in person in a while. And like looking at these in person, these seem way more intelligently designed. I'm pretty sure that the ones that I got were just kind of like, no name sort of.
There's a lot of lights out there, and what you're going to find, I think, is just the overall intensity of the light, where it shines, like how the beam is focused.
Yeah.
That's one of the really kind of unique things to understand about LED lighting is a lot of folks might use similar LED chip. And it has to do with how you drive that LED and, more importantly, where you throw that light. So a good example.
The lens is really important.
Exactly. That's really the design. And then the heat sink, how you dissipate the heat. The hotter the light gets, the less bright the LED is going to shine. So that's critical to developing higher quality lights, is having a really robust heat sink and some intelligent thermal management. So you're keeping that LED cool and it's going to shine brighter.
Right. Do your lights have like any kind of like fan built in, or?
No, we have like the integrated circuit is the chip that actually drives the LED.
Sure.
It actually will measure the temperature of the chip in real time and adjust the amount of heat that comes out of it.
That's really interesting.
The amount of light output. So you have to keep that LED cool. And that keeps it shining at full intensity.
I've seen a few pretty basic aftermarket, like this LED replaces an H4 bulb and they've got this like big kind of fan on the back.
Yep.
And I had one of those in the Bonneville for a while, and the light just, it doesn't, it's bright and it's cool looking, but it doesn't go where you want it to go. Like it's not focused properly.
That's absolutely the case with those. Nobody's yet gotten a DOT approval on a LED bulb because you can't control the light. It's not gonna reflect off the reflectors the same way that the filament bulb is.
Sure.
So we've experimented with a handful of those, and it's really difficult to see where that light's going to go. And you're right. It's bright, but it's not going to necessarily be focused in the right spot.
Yeah, there was no crisp like cutoff
Right.
Nothing like that. The fact that you guys have a DOT approved drop-in 7-inch light is really, really nice. Like I've seen a lot of drop-in ones that aren't DOT.
Exactly.
And you're just kind of asking for trouble depending on either, poor light output or get in trouble with, the po-po. You never know.
Yeah, and you'll notice like some of the bigger touring bikes with larger headlights, similar to like the size of a reflector of a car, they're going to have pretty good light output stock. But a lot of the more retro bikes and cruiser models that have a traditional 7-inch round H4 bulb, they're not putting out that much light.
Yeah.
So even though this is DOT approved, it's still going to outshine your stock light by about 3 times.
Nice. Well, thanks for telling us about the new lights. Where can people find them?
So you can go to DenaliElectronics.com to learn about all the new features and get yourself educated on how it all works. And that you'll bring us to a variety of different retailers that sell the product. We're here in the Twisted Throttle booth, so that would be definitely the place to go check it out and add it to the cart and get them installed on your bike.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.